Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Bull's Tea, brought to you by Shanda Danielle and our lovely co-host, Chase, Lebanese Lemmy. Will you be with me every episode, or is this just a special for tonight?
I think it's probably looking like I'm probably going to be joining you every time that you want me to.
Oh, that's so exciting. I think that everyone loves seeing us together.
Plus, I have to record you, and so, like when we make the show, like I've got to be the one doing it, so...
You have the best job of all. I mean, getting to work with beautiful women and getting paid for it. I mean, other guys should look into this. Hire female co-host. We make things more fun. We have different accessories.
I like it. I got my Bulls hat on. I rocking the Motorhead today.
Got them for Christmas.
Yeah, I got mine for Christmas too. So, thanks to my kid.
Aw, I like our kids.
They're great. You know what I like right now? I like looking at the score of the current Bulls game. It's 68-64 in the third quarter. So
I hope that we keep this up because, I mean, this is honestly like we are in the lead in the third, which we haven't been doing in the last two games. So I'm really encouraged about this. I'm really like, we can do it. This is a good one.
The last two games have been pretty shitty to watch. I haven't really been liking that.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll cover a lot tonight. So do we have a special little intro like our Bears or is this it? Do I get a pause and give our intro?
The intro just happened.
I didn't know we got another cool one. I'm so excited of all the technical things and I get giddy.
I'm trying. Like we've got the cool backgrounds and stuff like that.
Know. And we have cool sponsors. We have three sponsors, not six sponsors.
3.
I would like to have 6. We can add, if anyone else now wants to join, we can add 3 more. But
yes,
Monkey Knife Fight.
We'll even take OnlyFans girls to sponsor the show.
I know, OnlyFans. I love you guys. We'll promote you on the show. Does anyone good at talking about sports? You can come to an episode with me. I would love to talk about you and what you do as well.
Yeah,
it can be a great show.
I'll tune in on that one.
I would love to. So again, anyone out there that is a Chicago Bulls fan wants to be a guest on my show, I would love to have you. So message or comment. If you're not comfortable just commenting, you can always message. We're on all of the platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Where else? Sportscaster is our host. I was thinking elsewhere, though. If they found us here, they should know we're here. I mean, assumably they know where we're here, why we're here.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Sportscaster. Apparently, YouTube is not connecting today right off the rip. So it might be a minute on a delay there. So
we'll catch up. So what did you think about the Donovan move? Were you expecting it? Was he on your radar? What did you think about that? I mean, I know coming from Oklahoma, we particularly like him, but were you sad to see him go or how did that go?
It's hard to judge. It's hard to judge Donovan because Donovan was a college man, a really good college basketball coach, and came in on kind of that downward slope of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it wasn't a good fit. I guess it's not really a good assessment that we can make off of it. If he would have had the Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, that core, Serge Ibaka, that core Oklahoma City Thunder group, but what he did, he managed. It was a manageable system. It was a manageable situation for him, and he did well. I think it was just they had so much want and they thought they had so much promise, but they didn't really have a lot to work with. Nobody's left on that Oklahoma City Thunder game. I mean, Steve Adams is where now? The Pelicans. I saw him on Christmas Day with the Pelicans. That's it. I think this is a good situation for him because he's coming into a system that he's kind of getting to develop on his own. It's a very young core group of guys.
Great. And I think that it's amazing potential though. I mean, because again, he did Florida to 2 national titles. I mean, it's not that I like that he's not new. because I think we would have had a lot more problems if we would have had a new coaching staff with our rookie, 1-2 year season guys. I think we would have had a lot less potential that right now we have a lot more potential. So I've been really excited to see him because I think that he, for the most part, really wants to enhance the team, really wants to build that rapport, really wants to hone in on what the guys are good at. And I like that some of the things he's quoted saying, that most nights that we're not going to be the most athletic, talented, or experienced, but if we work hard and be a team, that will give them what they need. And I think that's a great way to go into it. He's looking at the Bulls in a very realistic way, which makes me feel optimistic, instead of going and being like, we're going to win everything and all that. He's coming in saying we might not be the best, but if we're the hardest working and if we play as a team and a unity, then we will be.
Yeah. And that, being in that kind of the younger group, a lot of the guys he's coaching right now are very similar to that college roster that he had back in the day. Players aren't sticking around 4 years for the most part. It's one and done, or they're going overseas. That's kind of becoming the new route. I'm going to go play pro overseas and then come back and get drafted over here. So there's not a whole lot of difference in what he's used to. I think his way that his style of play, his style of offense that he's working with, I think is going to really benefit the players that he's got. They've jacked a lot of threes up the past 2 games. And right now I'm not even for sure in this third game of the season where they're at on it. But as soon as they can get those to fall, as soon as they get the mechanics worked out, as soon as they get kind of into the flow of the games, because what do they have? 3 games for a preseason?
Yeah, it was a little one.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's
it was
also
like
a baby season. Or not a baby season, but it's also a smaller season.
Yes. Yeah, they are. It's still, we're still in the whole COVID pandemic. The NHL signed a 56 game deal for this season. So there's still a lot of that, even talks about MLB being postponed and moving later. So we still have that whole COVID thing going on. So,
and people are not getting to see live games, which is affecting it.
Right. So there's a whole bunch of different things with the atmosphere and all of that. So give it about 10 games. I know 0-2, you don't like talking 0-2. Nobody wants to hear that, especially when you're 0-2 going in with having Golden State, which Golden State isn't the Golden State Warriors that we're used to. Most of that team is disbanded. Curry, they still got the old Coach Curry in, former Bulls. But they're not the same team that they had. That East Coast, that Eastern Conference is going to be a balls out since LeBron left. It's been wide open, and now there's teams that are really wanting to play. You got the Celtics and the Nets. So I think right now where the Bulls are, you don't really have to panic. You don't have to hit the panic button on 0-2. You got to let them hit their stride. And I think Donovan's going to be able to help them out in that situation and really kind of get the team moving in the direction that they need to be.
I agree. Do you think that he had any play in the surprise Patrick Williams being the number 4 pick for Bulls? Do you think that his influence was in there? Because I know that it was shocking for a lot of fans. A lot of people were kind of caught off guard, but that we used our number 4 for him.
I think there's, I think there was some potential there. I think there's something that the scouting analysts and things like that probably saw in him, saw the fit that he could make for us. And I mean, he hasn't done bad. I mean, he's got 25 points in 2 games.
I'm not complaining. Being a younger player, being 19, he's I believe the youngest player, if not he is one of the youngest, but I believe he's the youngest player right now to be drafted as an American, born right now. And so that's kind of just coming from someone that came from college. Do you think that the coaching staff, they're playing to his strengths as well? I think,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought that was good. It's good support.
Right. As a whole, if you look at the stats from top to bottom for everybody on the team right now, player stats, as of, the first 2 games, you've only got 2 players over 50% on their field goal percentage. You've got Markkanen at 52.2, and you've got Denzel Valentine at 66.7. You don't have a whole lot going there. I mean, that's not good. You don't want that. Patrick Williams is at 41.2%, 50% on his 3 points, and 90% on his free throws. So you
good player. He was doing great in the last game. I mean, I don't know what he's up to in this one, but the game 2, he really stepped up. Him and Kobe White, those two were, I think, in the first part, just sweeping with it.
Yeah. He's got he's played 21 minutes so far. He's 40% on his field goals. He hasn't shot it. He's shot one 3-pointer, missed it.
What about what's White doing this game? Because in the second game, he had 3 threes in the first half. Like, he was just like, it was doing good. Like, I liked watching him. I was like, oh.
So right now he's at 38.5% on his field goals, 60% on his 3-point percentage. He's got 13 points right now.
We're still winning. I'm so excited. I can see my stats. I'm like,
yes. So for Christmas, I got the NBA League Pass because we don't get any of the games down here. So
yeah. I downloaded Slice, I think, and they had like this Bulls pass, and then come to find out that channel's no longer available, even though they're still promoting it. So,
well, I'm sure we can work out some type of don't listen to what we're doing, but I'm pretty sure I can work out a login for you.
Awesome. But yeah, so I was impressed with the Patrick Williams. So, and let's talk about game 1 against the Hawks.
Yeah.
So I felt like, okay, have you ever watched a game when it's like either the coaching staff against the players, or like, you know, the returning players against the newbies, and something to where you can tell that there's an obvious size player difference? I felt like this was one of those shirts against skins games, and I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, it was a bad day.
It was, and it was like, I don't know. I mean, I felt like the Bulls wouldn't slow down. They were trying to. I mean, it's the first game, though. I'm sure there's a lot of nerves. Those guys have not been playing on this level, and coming off our pandemic and all that. So again, I'm not, and especially, it's not like bad. This is not, and how close the games were. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not in a negative, mindset. But we did not do good. It was just not a great game for us. That's, we are under. Our defense is very undermanned in that. You could see they just took it away. They kept on stealing. I was like, man, this looks like when little kids play, because they just kept on. They kept on. And I was like, oh, I felt like we were little.
Yeah.
But it's a young team. I mean, it's a young, new team. They're going to have to get aggressive. They're going to have to get in there. They need a better defense. I do think Patrick Williams could be brought up to be that defense. He could be a good all around. I mean, he's got big wingspan too. He's got like NBA size, even though he's young. So imagine what he's going to be at 25. He's going to be a big old guy.
Yeah, they're going to put some meat on him. He's going to get some muscle. Yeah. He's going to develop. It's going to be, that's the thing, is you've got all of these guys that are starting to follow that kind of LeBron James deal. LeBron James, Zion Williams, they're those guys that are going to cause guys to beef up and to just be a person that drives the ball. You got a visitor.
I have a dog, yes, and she's very aware if anyone's here. She thinks she hears someone. It's probably me.
No.
She's the greatest. But yeah, that's what I saw with it. I was like, yes, I felt like we were under in every area, but it was still a good game. I mean, we still performed. You could see the areas we needed to work on, but I wasn't like feeling like this was just a team that was going to lose at all. It wasn't like I felt like we were just outmatched because we're bad at it. It's just we're underdeveloped, maybe.
Well, and Trey, I mean, you're playing Trey Young.
Oh yeah, it was a mighty impressive game if you were cheering for the other team.
Yeah. I think Trey Young's stats on the night was like 42 points.
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But And then in game 2, I really thought we did better because, I mean, and in game 1, we fell behind in the first quarter. Like, first one, we were down. And we were just, you know,
Well,
at least in the second one, it was almost to half. I mean,
right, but in that Pacers game, they were down. But you know, towards the end of the game, they were able to they gave us this fake like, oh, here we come back, go down, hit a couple threes, and they got within like 10 points, and then they got I think within 7 at one point, and then it just fell apart again. So right there, second to fourth quarter, we're playing good, solid, fundamental basketball. Just not so far like in the first and the fourth quarter where, you know, you want to build a lead and then you want to finish strong and hold the lead. That's where we're having the problems.
And I think we have problems on defense. We don't have a strong defense. I think that it comes from, honestly, I think it's not, at least in these 2 games, not being as aggressive as you need to be. Like, these guys are not getting in there and playing that kind of like tough, manly ball that you have to play when you're playing against men of that size. You can't go in there delicately on a league like this. And you can't be rush and or you'll foul, which we saw in the first game.
Yep.
So it's one of those, our defense needs to exude their confidence and be these big men that they are and push back and drive forward and not let them keep on. And I think that's where we'll start to see. And I think as the games go on, we'll start to see that more. I'm hoping we will see that more.
Well, and you're going to hear this from me for the entire time. Growing up a 90s kid and watching basketball and watching, you know, fights break out in the stands and on the court and all of that, basketball is played in a different way than it was a long time ago. There's really not a lot of defensive powerhouses, a lot of defensive eccentric players. Like, there's no more Rodmans and things like that anymore. Yeah. Yeah, you know, there's none of.
No, I was not. Rodman can't come back, but I mean, like, to have a situation like we had with them, because you know that's my favorite. You know that I'm not even supposed to bring up, because I would talk the whole episode, every episode, about Michael Jordan. This would be the Michael Jordan show. This would be the Michael Jordan, Rodman, and Scottie Pippen show. And we would do highlight reels, and we would talk about my love for basketball that was built around those 3 men and that decade of wonderfulness.
Right. No, I love it. I loved that era, and I loved defensive. I'm a defensive minded person. And so there's not the traditional way that you play defense. And so it is a very fast paced game. And now that's kind of a thing that people are wanting to adopt. And it came from that kind of small ball that the Rockets played last year and helped them, helped them out. And so it was, get down the floor, shoot a 3. Get down the floor, shoot a 3.
I love seeing some of these beautiful threes too. And that was something in my notes that I've seen brought up, that Donovan is also known to not do as many threes, and he doesn't play called where they're available. Do you think that'll step down the Bulls some if they start seeing less threes? Because in our season last year, we are some of the top 4 shooting threes in the league. So and he is some of the lesser. I think his stats were at least 10 below. I wish I'd written it down now. So do you think that he'll affect that?
I think that they will probably try to get something worked out with it. I just, you got to play your strengths. And if he's got players who are very strong outside shooters, you better play it. You got to win games. You have to adjust. You have to adapt. You have to win games. That's why they started playing that small ball. Get down, jack a 3. The more you shoot, the more you'll make, in theory. And that's how they're wanting to play the game. And so that's what you see a lot of now, is this type of style of play. And it's a lot different. So it's not that they do need to play better defense. They do need to get takeaways and steals. They do need to have block shots. But what they have to do is they have to get the shots that they're taking to fall. And that's, I know it sounds as elementary as possible, and that I have nothing else to talk about, but that's what you have to do.
No,
so that's where we
didn't they used to ride Shaq for that?
Do what?
Didn't they used to ride Shaq for that? That was his thing, that he'd get up to the free throw line more than anybody else, but couldn't sink but like 15%. It was something incredibly low.
Well, and that's why they fouled him all the time, was because they knew he had to get they would take the game out of him. They would just
Yeah.
put him on the foul line. And
Yep.
so you have that situation, and you've got to look at it where you've got to get separation. You've got to get separation. You've got to move the ball. And it's one of those things that you've just kind of got to build some chemistry. There's got to be more chemistry going in. There's got to be more, and that's something that's going to take time. There's not a lot of guys on this team that have chemistry with each other.
Did you see the Wendell Carter Jr. interview that he did after game 2?
I did not know.
I really liked too how he was approaching it, talking about some of the elder bulls, we will call, and the newer ones. He was saying that, you can't blame the coaching staff. And I like that he kept using the word like they and us as a conglomerative, that we are not blaming it, that everything that for the players have to hold themselves accountable. So, and he was praising the work ethic and willingness. So I really think that both him and the coach have the right attitude, and him speaking for the team, that they know that the team player-esque is not there. And that is something that they know that they have to build. And that is a thing that you can't blame coaching. And it is something that does come with time. I mean, you can't get it overnight. You've never played this kind of ball. And it's such a fast-paced season compared to college. I mean, college, how many days break between compared to, professional, where it's like all the time. Right. I mean, it's an adjustment. So I like that nobody is saying like, woe is me, and nobody is pointing a finger anywhere. Everyone is basically saying, let's do better. We can do better, and our potential's here. And I think it is. I think it's a great Bulls potential for this season. I liked listening to what everyone had to say, and I've loved listening and watching what we've done so far. I want to check on what we're doing right now.
Well, right now, the good old score is where... Oh, man, where did my stuff go? Summary. 97-93.
At the end of the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, our first night, and they're going to win. I'm a good luck charm, right?
Well, let's see what we can do. You got to wear the same thing every game if they win. Yeah. That's where we're at. It's going to be a fun season. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun to see what's going on as this season progresses, because you've got to have something happening. You've got to. It's a hard season to really look at and to say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going with it. But you've got to give it time. You've got to really hone in on what's happening, and there's just got to be things that need to be consistent.
And how do you think, okay, also now looking at that, we're going to play a season, I don't know the exact number of less games, but it's like half, or something incredibly less, we'll say. How do you think that the stats are going to look at the end? Can we really compare this to a regular played season in how they do? Because again, they're not going to have as many opportunities. Obviously, it will get compared in stat-wise the same, but what do you think? Do you think that this will affect the outcome if we would have had more games and et cetera? Does that make sense?
Well, more games is always going to give you a better chance for more wins.
Right.
So do you
really
think
what it is that much of a difference for us this year, though? I really think it's a disadvantage for us. We needed those games.
Well, yeah, everybody needs more games. I mean, everybody needs that to happen. Even your winners are like, man, I wish we could have more games, because
but I don't want them to have more games. I want us to have more games.
Right. And so that's kind of one of the situations that you're in is, these losses mean more this season.
Mm-hmm, they really do.
Yeah. And so you've got to figure out what's not working. You've got to make adjustments in game. It can't be something that, all right, let's work on this. Let's look at it. Let's do this or that. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it now, because you don't have, the same amount of games as we normally have in a season to dick around with. You've got to get what you're doing, and you've got to get it done, and you've got to get it done today. You need to get it done yesterday. You can't fall behind, because right now you're sitting at 0-2. You lose tonight, you're at 0-3. And that's kind of why I think this game right here could be a good turnaround. They're playing a good team.
Yeah, they really are. And they are a good team. I mean, even though the preseason was really little, we did a good job. We turned out well. I thought it was neat watching them play against Oklahoma City too, seeing that he coached against them, kind of seeing what the dynamic was. And I was really impressed that we didn't get slaughtered, no offense, because I was kind of like, how's this gonna go, you know?
Right.
And so I was happy during our little preseason.
And the preseason is one of those things where you can't put too much stock into it because it is guys getting their reps. It's guys getting ready. It's the same way in every sport that's played. Preseason is organized practice. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And so you've got to have that mindset on it. You can't be, you do want to win. You do want to see how you are doing against other teams and where you are as far as the progress of the season. But you also have to let your guys get in and get their reps and get what they need to do worked out in a game situation. So to end on a positive note in the preseason would be nice. Now we're 0-2 looking at going 2-1. So, or 1-2 rather. This season has got to get going on that upswing. Because like we were saying, you can't have it in this league this year. If you fall behind, chances are you're going to stay behind.
This is a good time to talk about our sponsor, Monkey Knife Fight. Don't they like us to talk about them in betting? Because the odds are in our favor if we do well this game.
Well, you don't bet with Monkey Knife Fight. You play daily fantasy sports games.
Yes,
and it's a website. Yeah.
You are the professional at this. You shall do this. This is why I have you here.
I do all, yes. In my spare time, I do all the fast, fine print stuff going on in things. But no, Monkey Knife Fight is our main sponsor, and we love them to death. Monkey Knife Fight is the daily fantasy sports gaming website for the casual sports fan that is simple, fun, and easy to play. Users determine which superstars competing in the day's professional sporting events will record more or less than the contest line provided. Monkey Knife Fight's daily fantasy prop games play similar to the salary cap-based DFS games, but without the algorithms, lineups, and most importantly, sharks. There are several contests to choose from, none of which require hours of research required on competing sites. Start with a simple 2-2 or go for the highest payouts, which are 100 times and higher, guys, by selecting an 8-8 more or less contest. Get started now with a 100% instant match bonus up to $50 with the promo code Bears Brunch. Bulls Deep will have its promo code starting January 1st if you guys want to put it in. But Bears Brunch, which is our sister show over here with Deep in Chi-Town, use the code. It all goes to the same place. Everybody
goes to him, and then he takes care of me and everybody else.
Yes. And if you do want to take care of us and you want us to have more fun, you guys can buy us beer now. It's awesome. It's on buymeacoffee.com/Deep in Chi-Town. Should be in our links on our channels and on our page. Get on there. Buy us all around of beers. We'll have them on the show with you guys. We'll probably have some Goose Island 312, which I know we're not sponsored by them, but Buffalo Wild Wings has a new Goose Island signature beer. It's called Wild Herd, and it's freaking fantastic.
They are not. You need to get Papa John's maybe to have it.
Hey, Papa John's, we'll have that Bull Deep code going pretty soon.
I'm so excited. I love Papa John's. I found out that we have one in the casino in my town.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to go in there and be like, can I take pictures by your side?
Do it. Get on there.
That's what I need to talk to them and find out who's running this one and be like, I work for you.
I think it's the same people that run the one with me, honestly. I think they own pretty much all of this area.
Oh, you should ask them and find out and be like, hey, we can have something live there. I can be there.
I would totally, do the Papa John's.
Yeah.
Set up out in front of a Papa John's is always fun.
Papa John's does a lot of great promos, especially for schools and fundraisers. You see Papa John's helping out a lot. So I would not mind doing something. I mean, they sponsor us. So, I mean, it's not and they have great pizza. Again, We're not just saying that because we just, anybody. They are actually great pizza.
Well, and they're also working with my daytime job as well on some stuff. So,
awesome.
kudos to them. Thanks for
There.
taking care of us. And
All right.
also our other sponsor, Death Ink Coffee, the strongest and bestest coffee in the entire world.
I tagged and talked about them online with someone else that was drinking them that has way more followers than me, and they were so jealous that they sponsor my show. And they were supposed to watch, which I don't know if they are, since I was talking about the Bears at that moment. So who knows? But maybe they'll tag along to this one too.
Speaking of the Bears, every Sunday morning at 11 a.m., join Bears Brunch. It's a lot of fun, and we just increased the chances today of 82% of us going to the playoffs. All we have to do is get past Green Bay. We'll talk about that next week, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. They've either got to win out or the Rams have to beat the Cardinals.
Well, things have happened.
And thank you to
at least the Bulls are still winning. We're in the fourth, still winning this. We're up by 8 right now. So like, da na 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 na.
And 60 people right now are watching the show live on Sportscaster. It's pretty much our home. That's where we pretty much live with our shows. So keep it up, guys. What else is on the docket for us tonight, Shanda?
Well, did you know that? And I would love for you to participate in this. I am remaking a Christmas jingle that I saw come out about the Bulls, and it has their names in it and all this. And I'm trying to figure out one to put out on my TikTok for New Year's. And we're going to have a TikTok, right? And you're going to let me talk about Michael Jordan there and all the things just so I can be happy and shake around.
You can talk about whatever you want on here. I just, want you to make sure that
I know it's not the Michael Jordan
Williams is getting
I understand.
love.
Maybe I can get him to, by the end of the year, maybe he'll come, and with my love and appreciation, he will come and be a guest.
Who, Michael?
Yeah, why not? Why can't I think
Michael didn't even want to do the Last Dance thing.
I'm not the Last Dance. Do you know? He doesn't know me yet. He doesn't know that. So do not be pessimistic over there.
I'm not. I'm just saying. That,
what about Rodman? I mean, my mom went to a party in his dorm room in college. They both
my
went
dad
to
went
the
to
same
school
college.
with him too.
Huh?
My dad went to school with him too.
My friend's mom dated him, so maybe he'll do it for old time's sake. An old alma mater.
That would be great.
There, but we both went to school there,
right?
So I mean,
we all grew up there, where we got to see all the stuff, and it was cool. Like for what it was, I liked it.
And it's so good now. I mean, I really am impressed though, because we really do have a good team. Like, I think them picking a young guy that's 19, we're going to really get to see him grow up. And that's what a lot of people did with Michael too. Like, they got to watch Michael grow up and transform into the amazing athlete that he was. Yep. And I think that's kind of what builds the love and the appreciation for him, because just like you have love and appreciation for like nieces or nephews or someone that you watched develop, we watched him develop into a superstar. And he didn't become like a bad example. I mean, until he started baseball. But, that's a different story. But,
the baseball thing we don't like to talk about.
Yeah, like he really was. So it wasn't somebody that you had to worry about. Like, he went out there and he played his job, his performance. It was beautiful. It was something to make fans want to watch. And so I really think that the Bulls, Chicago needs something like that. Chicago needs this Bulls team to be that thing that we root for. And they're not bad, but I would love to see them have a powerhouse team that we develop, and to see some guys stick around for a while. That way we can have that. Because again, Michael wasn't somebody that was just there overnight. He stayed for a while, and he learned how to play with someone like Pippen and Rodman. And they developed that camaraderie that was just, like, you couldn't deny it. They knew, like, you watched Michael and Pippen was there, or you saw, like, they were just, it was beautiful. And I think that you have guys that have the same mentality, that they can play that quick ball and be able to just, if they learn each other, play a kind of like almost, the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, it's really exciting basketball now.
Right. But the problem with it now is we'll never see that.
Why?
Because there's nobody out there willing to play like that anymore. There's no
I know that's why I feel like is more of like, who's the celebrity sitting in the stand and who's dating whom now. But you've got to believe in it. I mean, I've got to believe that there's got to be some people that love it like I love it.
Well, I believe in it. I just also know that these players aren't the same way. Like the last run of that was the LeBron Heat deal where Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh went with LeBron James to Miami and they all took cuts to make something great. There's nobody doing that anymore. It's where can I make the most money? Where can I do this? What can I do? How can
You're
I
definitely a
me?
true Midwesterner, just so you know.
Yep.
I was going to call you a Northerner right there.
Me. That's all it's about anymore. They're not about like the camaraderie of being on a team together. And it sucks. It sucks.
Maybe bringing in some of these young guys, maybe having a new coach, though. You have to believe in the magic. We have Bulls magic, though.
There is magic. But the thing that also comes with magic is money. They start with the same letter.
I know.
When you create that magic, they're going to offer you that money, and you're dumb not to take it. I know. I know.
I want to see that beautiful basketball. I want to see the basketball that we love. That is one downside. I grew up being a competitive cheerleader for basketball because I loved watching. I wasn't really a fan of cheerleading in the beginning, but I got into games for free and they toted me around everywhere with them. So I decided that that was my thing. And so this is my sport that I love. I love to watch them.
Well, I enjoy the basketball. It's great. It's fast paced. Also on the Deep End Chi-Town Network, starting on January. Of course, I forgot my notes.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Starting in January.
Yes, on January 10th. January 13th is the start of the NHL season. January 10th, probably following this show. It looks like it's going to be an 8:30 show every week. 9:30, we're going to be doing Hawks Talks, which is going to be all of your Blackhawks needs. And then coming in February, we will have North Side, Wind Side, and South of South Side, which will be our Cubs and White Sox shows. So you don't want to miss any of those either.
I am South of South Side. You will be the North Side. And this is the truth, too. I mean, I represent the South well. I have the big hair and the big slang, and you have the mean, we're gonna lose attitude.
Hey, and the snobby, and my snobby
meats.
Yeah.
Lots of important meats.
Yes. So, is there anything else? Are we putting a cap in?
We're good. I really want to check the score, but besides that, I'd love to see the end.
So it looks like we are 6:45 left in the fourth quarter of the 7-point lead for the Bulls, 110 to 103. I'm not quite sure where Shanda ran off to. So yeah, that's kind of strange. Kind of threw me off my guard there. I didn't really know what I needed to do. So I'm just going to take over here like this for a little bit. And the Bulls, 110 to 104 right now. Just got a text message. Her internet cut off. I think weather. Not quite sure what that means. So thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for hopping on. It put me kind of in a weird situation. Wasn't really expecting to have to end a show that's really not my show. So look for us every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. right here. 11 a.m. is Bears Brunch. Probably be filling up that time slot there in the middle as well during once football season is over with. But we're planning on playoff football. We're planning on playoff Bears Brunch. We'll also do that all season long. That's kind of how everything's going. Once we get this rolling all season long, we're going to be out there. So thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for being supportive. Keep following us. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, Deep in Chi-Town. Also find us Bulls Deep Show on Instagram. I'm Chase Almy. I'm on there as Lebanese Lemmy. Find Shanda on there, Shanda_Danielle. Also find her on her TikTok as well. Until then, guys, ride with us, ride with the Bulls, and we will have some fun this season. Until next week, guys, be safe. Enjoy that basketball.